Okay, let's let a few people come in over here. Bear with me one moment. Let's wait for it to fill up a little bit. Oh, nice buy.
Sizzlick, the guy. There's some of those names where you just recognize right away. Sizz is my guy, though.
Dude, he's the man. Oh, cool. We're on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. And if I got it correct, we are broadcasting to the Oval Office as well. But I can't confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Rumors. Does it tell you how many from each streaming platform you're getting?
I get the analytics afterwards. But
Toro Man.
see. There we go. Yeah, someone just bought half of ETH of Blood Boy.
Nice. It's a great buy.
Yeah, there we go. Says we got some text, some chats going on over here. I love it. All right, I'm going to turn my attention here. We're just waiting for the room to fill up. Live here with Trading by Storm. We're going to have an awesome live stream over here. So we got some people coming in. Storm, you need to share your screen also right now.
Yeah.
Let me throw that up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Put it up there.
All right. I am the producer of the show today, which means we are going to have a lot of technical issues.
Right.
Oh, that's dope. Okay. That's pretty good looking. No, we want to have it bigger, right? Is that show big for you?
It's not too bad. Yeah.
Oh, here. I think I can get it like this. Is a little bit better.
It's on my widescreen, so that might be why.
Oh, yeah.
Do
you have height on the top and bottom of yours?
What did you say?
Does yours have maximize? Okay, let's see if we can get this bigger.
Yeah, it might be the screen ratio is what it is. It's a widescreen. This is what I do most of my trading on. That's probably why.
Okay.
We could switch. I could switch to my standard screen if that helps and just share my other screen.
It might be a little bit better if we do that. I think it'll be easier for people. If it's easy for you to do.
Yep. Let me do that.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. Let me switch this over.
Oh, this is dope. So your comments are showing in our live chat over here in the back.
Yeah, shout out APT, by the way.
That's
all right. Dope. All right, that should be better. There we go. That should be a little bit better.
Oh, we got one viewer on Kick as well.
Shout out.
2 or 3 more. What? Shout out.
Shout out.
We're gonna take Aiden. Taking Aiden down by the end of this live stream.
Blood Boy reminds me of Deadpool. That's a good point. You should do the collab. Have you guys done a Deadpool collab yet?
We've done Wolverine, but for very obvious reasons, we did not do Blood Boy as Deadpool because he wears a full face mask. And it'd be a little bit hard to see.
That is true. That's a great point. Dodo Toshi, what up, dude? Another one of those guys.
Yes.
Guys.
You see my all these screens? Hold on, let me make sure I got screen shares here. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna throw us
Nice.
in the overlay.
Way better.
Yo.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I like this. We're doing good. All right, so let's talk about the Bitcoin short squeeze that is coming, and if it's bullish, if it's bearish, and then we'll talk a little bit about market memes and how some of those reactions might go.
Totally.
Take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be more brief this time. But yeah, I think mainly, right. One of the largest things that I look for when I'm trading is market sentiment. And what's really interesting actually is, you zoom out on this chart, there's nothing to be super bearish about, right? This extended bull run has been, bullish the whole way through with from a high term time frame perspective, with where we're at, over 61K now. We haven't even had like a crazy big drop. Obviously, this was a big liquidation, but in the grand scheme of things, from a macro perspective, still looks extremely healthy, right? So you take that, right, as clue
Nice.
one. And then also, right, we're making this very clear bull flag, which I talked about last time. And what's even more interesting is that these last two swing low points were two of the largest scale liquidation of, and one of the largest stock market liquidation events in history as well. So obviously, when you have two mass liquidation points, especially on a super technical level, you get people super scared, right? And so when you're on a technical
Totally.
level for a long, people are scared. You get breakout shorters that get trapped to the downside, and all of a sudden price starts to move up. You're looking for a short squeeze. And the last thing I'll say, the reason I say short squeeze is because the reason a lot of people say bull flags are so bullish is because, as you can see, price action is trending downward. So we've had tons of longs be stopped out, right? So all these swing low points are liquidation runs, right? So anyone who longed from this low got stopped out here. Anyone that longed from this low got stopped out here, so on and so forth, right? But no one who shorted in this entire range since we topped out in March has been stopped out of their swing positions, right? Because if you entered here, price has not revisited your stop loss. If you entered here, price still hasn't revisited your stop loss, so on and so forth, all the way down the line. We have not broken that market structure. So if price can breach to this upside, it can start to liquidate, right, where all these stop losses are. We'll see a large scale liquidation, which is a short squeeze to the upside, and it'll be super volatile. So
You're saying over here at the bottom of this range, what we're seeing with these sort of the candles, we see the hanging part over here, those are long liquidations.
yeah, so the long liquidations are these swing points, right? So if you look at it in terms of market structure, right? So, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Each time we make a lower low, right, we get this quick move. You can see these candles on each of these swing low points. Those are liquidation events. Anyone who longed, anywhere in this time, or in this time zone right here between May to July, got liquidated at this swing low point. Because a lot of times when traders make trades, especially novice traders, they're going to put their stop loss at the previous low, right? So anyone who longed in this area, very obviously, you're going to say, oh, I'm going to put my stop loss, my invalidation point at this low. So when price breaches that, you get tons of liquidations, and that's what gets that short, quick move to the downside.
And because it's sort of a downward lower lows that are happening, you're seeing these wick downs at the bottom of the channel from these liquidation events.
Correct. Yeah. So I think, because it's downtrending, obviously, like I said, it's a bull flag pattern. So it's really doing is just channeling to the downside, right? So from a technical standpoint, this is just a channel. you do see stronger moves to the downside, like these liquidation runs, these super long wicks, because those are liquidation runs, right? We have not had a liquidation run to the upside in 4 or 5 swing highs, which is going to make this swing, this short squeeze, when we do make that liquidation run, even stronger. So you should expect, if you can breach these highs, an even stronger liquidation move to the upside, which in turn obviously would be what a short squeeze is.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to change my mic setting over here. Apparently, I'm glitching out a bit. Let me change the mic real quick.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. I guess while you're fixing that, I can kind of talk about a little bit what we talked about last time in terms of our positions. So last time when we streamed, I don't know, maybe 4 days ago or so, we were right at that short level I was talking about. We did get that reaction, right? So last time we talked about that long I had taken, that swing long from that liquidation event, closed back in the channel. And now we see that little, yeah. Wait, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, sorry. We can go back in order form. I was trying to fill space, but yeah, I think right now, like I said, I just think it in terms of market sentiment, you want to see, when I do swing trades, it's where is going to stop the most people out, right? Where is the market moving? Market moves searching for liquidity, right? By far, very clearly, the liquidity is held to the upside. We've had 2 massive liquidation events, meaning we've stopped out people and taken liquidity to the downside. Literally historical liquidation events, the last 2 swing lows, and we have not breached the high one time. So, in my opinion, you would expect a short squeeze. So that's what I'm looking for.
And just to explain a short squeeze to people, what you're saying is that when people are shorting the market and it goes long, it goes up, what it forces buyers to do is actually have to buy their positions, and that sends it even higher. So that short squeeze is a very bullish event for the market, correct?
Correct. So similarly, how we got a long squeeze. So people who bought when their stop losses got hit. So like right here, anyone who bought in this range that got bullish and entered leverage long positions or even spot longs, they probably had a stop loss very clearly at the last swing low. When it breaches that stop loss, like you said, they're forced to sell off their buy position, their buy orders, which basically doubles as a sell order. So you get tons of like basically instant sell volume to the downside.
And when we have a short squeeze, we're looking at instant buy volume to the upside.
Correct. You're looking at people who, again, if you've shorted pretty much any time in this entire section from when we topped out in March, like even if you shorted here, your stop loss is probably this last swing low. If you shorted here, your stop loss is probably this swing low, right? And so on and so forth. We have not broken market structure a single time yet. We've only made consecutive lower lows and lower highs. So what you would see is almost like a chain reaction, right? You get up to this level, you breach this high where, there's probably, hundreds of millions of dollars in short liquidations right here. So we get a quick move up and all of a sudden it triggers these stop losses. And then it goes down the line and you get this like God candle wick to the upside. That's what I'm expecting on Bitcoin. And because we're at such crucial support, we just bounced off such crucial support, which is obviously why I took that long. I think this is that low, that last leg before we make that move up. So obviously you want to read the market. It's anytime you do trading, it's not, you don't blindly trade. We're going to want to see how the market reacts when we get up to these levels, but that's what I'm anticipating.
Awesome. I hope so. And we see an interesting formation over here where on the last downside, sort of after it hit that top of the channel, it went down. You could see it was more of a downwards movement. And from here, when it bounced off that, when everybody had longed and was forced to buy at the bottom of that channel, forced to sell. Sorry, I guess it would be a short because it went straight up. Over here, you just see this like little bull flag towards the middle of the channel. Do you hear me, by the way? I hope everybody can hear me well. I hope it's
Your
better.
mic sounds better.
Okay. You have like a mini bull flag towards the channel over here. The last one sort of dumped down, but this one held around 55, 56, 57, about 57. It's hard for me to see on the screen. And then you see it bouncing up. So you see like a really like bullish signal over here in the middle of the channel where we are right now. Like it's a
Right.
nice little consolidation. The last one broke down. This one actually seems like a bullish consolidation as opposed
Totally.
to the last one.
Totally. And you know, like I said in our last stream, actually, which was literally right when we were kind of hitting into this level, this was a potential short spot for me, right at like 60 to 61K. We had a ton of confluence right here. I actually didn't end up shorting it. I ended up de-risking about 25% of that long. Never shorted it, but could have been a pretty good level to short, obviously. But it's really bullish to see this. Like you said, we're seeing that kind of that bullish flag, that bull flag consolidation to the downside, and we're seeing a very quick bounce up, and we're retesting that same level. That's bullish to me because I think if we can get through this midpoint of the channel in that 618, which are super big levels of support, channel theory would tell you that you're extremely highly likely to test the high of the channel, right? So, which again is right around those stop loss points. So, I think the market just looks so prime to me. I think it looks so bullish. It feels so bullish. Yet everybody, right, in the market is fearful, right? We're on the crypto fear and greed index. We're at a 30, which is super fearful. Yet we're, within 15% of all-time highs after the largest liquidation event in crypto history. To me, that just screams like we're ready for a short squeeze. So Bitcoin looks super good to me. So
I love it. Yeah, because the last time we went down to retest the channels, you can just the bottom of that channel, you see a little bit of an upwards movement, but it feels like a dead cat bounce where people are just trying to buy a little bit to recuperate, but there was no real structure moving up. This one has clear upward structure. It's defined separately from that downwards movement. It just looks better all overall. Maybe, I don't know if you have it, if we can pull it up. Let's take a look at the liquidation heat maps on Bitcoin right now, real quickly.
yeah, I can look that up.
If you looked at the meme coin liquidation heat maps, it's just all yellow and red. Everything can always go wrong
Oh man.
or right.
All right. So this
We're gonna get to all the questions over here.
I was looking at this.
We're looking at them. What do those levels look like?
It's hard. Thing's kind of janky right now, so let me move out. Hold on.
I like looking at these.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times what I use is order flow software, which makes it a little bit easier to see these. These are just this software is super janky, but yeah. So to the upside, I can't really zoom out to the right more, unfortunately. Huh, this is weird.
If you scroll on the side by those numbers, I think you can go up, make it taller.
Yeah, I was trying to drag it. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's been weird. It's not really letting me. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, so I'm not sure why it's not really showing that last liquidation run. Where is this? I want to zoom out a little bit more, but let's do it. Oh, here we go. Let's do 3 month maybe. Let's see how this looks. I can't tell if this is 3 month candle.
I don't know.
This looks really weird. I don't know. This is not try the other model. Okay,
that looks cleaner.
Yeah, that's a little bit cleaner. But yeah, I mean, you can see right up towards these all-time highs. And
what is that at? What's that thick yellow line at? What's the number?
right above where we're at. It looks like that's probably about 61,600.
Damn.
So, oh, right, we're basically right above us. It's not this one. I wish I could zoom out to a higher time frame because I want to see, but it's just not. I wish I could pull up my order flow software, but it doesn't let me stream it. Um, okay, here, this one's a little bit better actually, I think. So
Yeah.
you can just see the lines to upside. So 70K is a very big level. So this is the last swing level, right? So if you go to Bitcoin, right, those liquidations, that thick yellow line is right up here, right? That last swing high I was talking about. Right above that, right, you get a number of like barely front ran liquidation levels, right? This is like maybe $20 ahead of this one. So people are defending these levels, right? Because they don't want to get liquidated. But at some point, right, that money runs out. And if we can break 70K, we're going to get a massive liquidation move to the upside and almost instantly liquidate 71,800, which is the next one, which would be these next swing highs, right? All up in here. So, yeah, I mean, this chart looks a lot better, this liquidation map, but you can clearly see, right? There's barely any liquidations, barely any, liquidation stop losses to the downside, right? Super shallow. And very clearly, you can see where everybody's stop losses are. They're at the last swing highs, very clearly, like I was talking about. So, and that's the thing, like, because these are so close together, what you'll see is kind of a chain reaction move of as soon as people get liquidated from this last swing high, price will move almost instantly up to the next liquidation point. And yeah, we'll see that kind of big short squeeze happen. So let's hope, fingers crossed. But that's what the charts are telling me. So
No, I love it. I also really like how they're positioned with the different levels. You see, like people set them at the first part of the channel when we had that first top of the channel. Then people set them again a little bit lower at the top of the channel from the last movement. But the movements between them are so close, those liquidation maps. Like there's not a lot of longs. It's just the shorts that are going to get liquidated. And if we hit one and then just super liquidate into the another, basically, you're going to have this insane buying event that's so bullish.
yep, totally. The only way I would take a short at pretty much any of these levels, which I do think could be a really lucrative short, is if the exact same thing that happened down here on why it took this long, if we get that liquidation move and we get a ton of open interest longs, meaning people opening long positions for like a breakout trade, right? Because breakout trades to me are FOMO buys, right? People who are like waiting for this breakout and then we see this massive move up and then they start to like pile in and buy and get super bullish. And then we get a close back into the channel. That's bearish to me because you now have, millions and millions of dollars of trapped longs that are now underwater. The exact same thing happened right here where you saw this super crazy liquidation. As soon as that liquidation happened, you saw tons of like open interest of shorts coming into the market. And when I saw this daily close back into the channel, right, almost perfectly, I'm like, oh, there goes, millions of dollars of liquidations that are now underwater. And so all we need is a little buying pressure to the upside, and then they'll get squeezed. And look at this candle right here. Once, we got a movement up into the channel, they got stopped out of their trade and we're continuing up. So yeah, I'm the only way I'd be bearish on Bitcoin from this point on is if we get that same exact thing happen to the upside because Bitcoin loves to wreck people. So
It's the one thing that it consistently does is
yep.
wreck people in every direction. That is one thing you can always count on is if you try to do like the minutia of the trading, it's not so easy to do. But even then, it's like people who are doing that chasing the candle long, where you're just trying to leverage on the move up. It's definitely dangerous. That's why you want to have it set beforehand if you feel that move is going to come. Would you agree? Like never leverage on the way of the chart movement.
Totally. I mean, I'm not a breakout trader. I think if you are a breakout trader, you are probably a scalper, which if you're scalp trading, you have to be like a super high level pro trader to be a successful scalp trader. Most people who breakout trade get wrecked. I would never breakout trade. I just think it's such a newbie way to trade in some circumstances. There's some scalpers I think that probably do really well. But I mean, a breakout trade is like the epitome of FOMO, right? That's like the epitome of a newbie trader that, is like super fearful down here, and they sold all of their Bitcoin holdings, and then all of a sudden the price moves opposite and it starts to look bullish, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to buy, and then we get this massive liquidation move to the upside, and now they want to buy right when they see that confirmation of the breakout, and then they get wrecked. It's just, I don't think breakout trading works very well, especially with swing trading, unless you're doing back testing breakout trades, which I do take, but that's a whole different topic. So
Yeah, definitely more advanced, but overall, very bullish structure setting up for a possible breakout of the top of the channel in Bitcoin. Really excited if that would actually happen. So fingers crossed, we just continue to see some good action happening.
totally.
Speaking of the markets, let's take a look at the little cousin Ethereum real quickly, and then let's talk shit coins, meme coins. And we're going to talk about some market meme coins over here.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to talk about meme coins this week. Yeah, in terms of Ethereum, right? I mean, again, I just think Ethereum is going to follow Bitcoin to a fair degree. That doesn't mean it's not going to bounce off of technical levels. I drew this up last week. This was from our last stream that we had. Didn't take this trade, like I said, but bounced again off of one of my favorites, 618. And then just a very clear line of like basic support and resistance where you see like a bounce, right? Bounce, 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 back test, bounce. Just, very clear line of support and resistance. When, support or resistance gets broken, you then look for support next time it's tested. When you see that 618 confluence with it, it's a great level to long. But again, I think a lot of this movement right here is just, you go back to Bitcoin, it's just kind of following that same structure. So, yeah, Bitcoin's got a little bit ways to go, but yeah, no, it is good. It is good because, like I said, we're expecting Bitcoin, to break all-time highs soon. And if Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, I can almost guarantee you Ethereum will follow suit very, very quickly after. And then the cool thing about Ethereum, right? You talk about like leveraged fractals, you'll get a lot more percent return on a breakout of Ethereum than you would Bitcoin with similar risk. Like if Ethereum breaks out of its all-time high, I want to say that's almost like a 2x. No, oh, close. It's probably like a 85% gain. Actually, let's do this just to make sure. Let's see.
I like when you have a downwards flag that's bearish. It's usually when it's not disconnected. When you see it start to form a whole new sort of chart pattern where it's gone down a little sideways and then it starts to reform, that's a much more bullish pattern from the way that I look at a technical trading. When I see it on the way down, I see like a desperation trade where people are trying to buy to DCA and save their ass. But when it's separate, it's a lot more bullish. And these are nice and separate. Like these, you see like a distinction between the down and the up, and you just see a nice little consolidation forming.
Yep. Yeah, and also just to address one of the questions I just saw from AP, because I've heard this so much, and I'm sure Blood, you've heard this as well a ton. But he said it's crazy how the ETH didn't pump after the ETH ETF, which again I've talked about this so much, but like fundamental analysis is so dangerous to trade because if trading was as easy as waiting for a news event to happen, like the ETH ETF approval, and then buying ETH, and then all of a sudden you make all this money, everybody would be rich. But it's not that simple. Typically, news events like that will get factored in leading up to the event. When the rumors are circulating and people are speculating, it'll get priced in. And then when the event actually happens, it'll almost always go opposite of where you think it's going to go. But I will say we will reap the rewards of that ETF in the long run. But before that big move up that we get from the ETF, we're going to need those stop outs. And lo and behold, right, we just got one of the largest liquidation events in history. And so I think it's time that we reap those benefits and, the fundamental analysis plays out the way it should. But again, you got to have those stop outs. So.
And speaking about, I love what you're saying about time and how the stop outs really help. It's interesting how markets work. It's sort of really beautiful how the worst events go right back into the best events with the
Totally.
liquidations, then shooting it up. The long liquidations then move it up. He says, buy the rumor, sell the news. But there's another thing, and I don't have the exact dates, but I believe it was about, if you look back to the Bitcoin ETF, it was about 18 days after that it started to have a bullish effect.
Yep.
And we're still about a week away or so from that with Ethereum. And
Yep.
Ethereum doesn't trade like exactly like Bitcoin. There's a bit of a lagging effect. So because it's a smaller volume, it's a newer asset for Wall Street. Bitcoin is more, I think, clear on what they want to do with it. Ethereum is a smaller, people don't know it as well. I could see that taking maybe a little bit longer for that bullish effect of the ETFs to take effect. So maybe it's not 18 days. I believe that was the number. Maybe it's 25 days. I don't know exactly, but it's not really concerning. It's sort of
Totally.
following that same pattern of
Yep.
a little bit of a lag behind that news event before it starts to affect it well.
Totally, totally. And the other thing I think people don't realize, right, is like an ETH ETF is more of a that's like a traditional finance way to buy cryptocurrency, right? Like through a bank. Most of the people who invest in ETFs are long-term holders. So, like you're not scalp trading Bitcoin on an ETF, right? You're buying an Ethereum ETF at $2,700 a coin, and you're probably holding that thing till 6 to 10,000, right? People who buy
Hmm.
ETFs they're not traders. They're not degenerate meme coin specifically.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! We don't have to get
Not to
personal
offend
over
any
here.
not to any to
Yeah,
offend any listeners who
let's
probably are
not. Let's
degenerate
not.
meme coin.
Yeah, let's try to
But
keep our listeners over here. We don't need to get
yeah.
formal
Oh yeah,
complaints
not
with
yeah,
meme
not
coin
to offend any
HR.
hey, I'm more degenerate meme coin trader than anyone. So, but when you look at
I'm
those
messing.
buyers, the people investing into those ETFs, those aren't people who are going to be selling right away, right? Those are people who are holding long term. And so, the big institutions that bought in, which it's funny, after we got that big liquidation event, I saw so many tweets from like Whale Watcher and all those reputable Twitter accounts that were like JP Morgan just to close, they sold $0 of their Bitcoin. They're still holding $1 billion in Bitcoin, whatever, just down the line, all the big institutions haven't sold. Right. And so again, it's because they're long-term holders. They're long-term investors of the ETFs of cryptocurrency. Doesn't matter what happens a month from the ETF launch, matters what happens years down the line. And so, yeah, but Bitcoin's a different beast now. It's not meme coins necessarily. I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, those large cap cryptocurrencies, those those are like it's like digital gold. But I mean, you could make the assertion that Blood Boy is a long term investment as well, though, because I do believe those high level meme coins like Blood, Pepe, Dodo, Bubble, those are investments as well. Maybe not like to the same degree as Bitcoin, obviously, because Bitcoin just has an absurd amount of volume and stuff. But I think those you should look at meme coins in the same light as you do those large cap cryptocurrencies, where if the market does well, Blood Boy is going to still be there. It's going to still be pumping. It'll follow Bitcoin with probably higher percentages, same as the other low cap meme coins. So that's the way I look at it. I don't know if you have anything to add on that. But yeah.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. We're not see oh, we have another I'm pretty sure this is like a marketing bot or something, because every time we go around, this guy talks about this Gari token and lets us know that it's a streaming platform. Okay, we're gonna have to get a sponsorship, I think, before we analyze that on every single stream. We
Yeah,
also
no,
probably should be streaming on it before we analyze it. So we'll hold we'll hold off on that one. We didn't really get any information on it before. It feels a little spammy. Anyways, when you say that people are long-term holders, what's interesting is they're not buying and just selling. So that means, person A buys and they hold, and then person B buys and they hold. And it starts to take that liquidity, it brings liquidity into the market, but it takes supply off of the market. So it might take a little time for it to catch on, but once it catches, you're removing that supply, and that's obviously very bullish for um, Ethereum. Unlike like a Solana coin where you got about a 4.5 minute lifespan of people holding, sometimes even quicker. This is really longer term views, and it's just not something that happens overnight. But if you have a little patience, that effect is going to be much more bullish and much stronger for the market.
Totally. Totally agree. I mean, I guess that's a good kind of leeway into talking about the state of the meme coin market. I know I babbled quite a bit about Bitcoin and trading and the technical stuff. I guess what's your general outlook on the meme coin market right now and just the general state of meme coins?
I'm very, overall, obviously very bullish, but we have this point, this inflection point, and it sort of shows where we are in the channel with Ethereum and Bitcoin, where when you're in this middle place, the fear levels go up a lot with people because they're uncertain which way the market's going to go. And for
Right.
some reason, people don't want to, people don't, not for some reason, but people don't want to get trapped in a trade. They think, even though you really don't make money by overnight trading on conviction or long-term plays with meme coins where you make the most money, it's not really, generally speaking, the easiest way to make money with meme coins is by finding good projects. And we can talk about what a good project is in a minute, and just holding, because if you're trading against the market up and down on a very quick movement, it's such a small market cap on a lot of these coins that it can be manipulated with a few buys or sells, and it could really hurt you. So it's better
Totally.
just to find good projects, and on a broader spectrum, you're going to make money if they're a good project, and less on the shorter term. But people, for some reason, really react to the market emotionally. And when they're unsure which direction it's going to go, is it going to go down? Is it going to set up the bull run? They just keep the money in their pockets.
Totally.
So I think we've seen a lot of projects sort of been pulled down from that liquidity that's been pulled off of the market. We've seen a lot of liquidity taken off of Ethereum. There's more fast plays on Solana. It's also cheaper to trade on Solana, but they're all really quick plays. So people are looking for that quick buck where they're not committed to the play really. And Ethereum is more where the big money goes to park things for a while. It's not a fast marketplace. So we've seen that liquidity come off of Ethereum meme coins because of that fear level you're showing. It's at like a 30 from fear to greed. We want it way over to the greed side when, optimally, honestly, for that liquidity to return. But the
Yep.
good news is we are right before a bull run. It's happened every time it happens. This is the time to go ahead and find good projects to buy. And today we'll talk about the market memes because we're talking markets. They're all good projects. This is the time to buy. You're not going to get the perfect entry, but you're definitely not going to get the worst entry. And you're not going to be chasing. When you start chasing entries, that's when you end up either losing on how many tokens you can get, or just getting wrecked because you're just the last one to the party. And the last one to the party with a meme coin is the exit liquidity or just a much lower profit margin. But when no one's at the party and it's boring, like right now, but not a lot of people are trading compared to other times when the market is not that exciting, that's the time where you really want to start putting your investments in, start buying on the projects that are going to be there long term. And I think this is exactly a great point, to be honest with you, to go in because the market's not going to crash. I don't think, well, I can't predict it. Um, I don't think the market's going to crash and go to zero or anything. The projects that are around are not going to really disappear. They've been hit, but they're not going to go much further down. But the upside potential from here is huge. What do you think on that?
Totally. Well, speaking on Ethereum memes specifically versus Solana memes, and not to offend any Solana projects out there, just because I'm invested in quite a few Solana projects as well. But obviously, the upside of Solana meme coin projects is that it's much easier to create a Solana project and it's cheaper, right? You don't have to pay as much in gas. Some people say it's a little quicker, etc. That sounds like all those characteristics to me. It sounds like the fast food chain um, of memes, right? Of meme coin in terms of chains. And I think that's, very much how those tokens act. You see those coins get like rocketed up and then rocketed down. People eat those meme coins so quickly. And it's very hard to sustain a long-term project in the Solana meme coin season or in the Solana meme coin ecosystem. Just like how you said, I'm a firm believer that the top meme coins are investments, and in fact, probably the best investments you can make. Obviously, I'm super bullish on Bitcoin. I'm super bullish on cryptocurrencies in general. Meme coins are like leveraged Bitcoin, leveraged Ethereum, right? When Bitcoin and Ethereum move up, you're going to see those top meme coins move up 10 to 100 times the same price movement that Bitcoin did, right? Bitcoin goes down 15 to 20%, like we've seen it do in the last couple of months. Those meme coins get decimated. They go down 70 to 80%, right? They're all microchasms of each other. And so for me, right, because I'm bullish on Bitcoin, I'm bullish on great meme coin projects, and the Ethereum meme ecosystem just offers way better long-term projects, in my opinion. So again, you talk about Pepe, obviously, the market memes around Pepe, right? So Bobo, Dodo, Snibu, Mumu, Blood Boy, right? The Matt Fury side. Those are great projects that I think have longevity to them. Whereas a lot of Solana projects, you see them dump off. Bitcoin could be pumping, but you'll see a Solana project, pump and dump in a week. Just because it's Solana, people G. That's kind of the downside of having the ease of access. People also sell out very easily as well with little to no fees. So yeah, I think you're totally right. I totally agree with your stance on how you should view meme coins, the good meme coins. Like put majority of your money in long-term projects that'll follow Bitcoin and stay alive during a bear market, right? Obviously, we've seen Blood Boy, we've seen Dodo and Pepe, all pretty much every Ethereum token take a hit during this 20% Bitcoin retracement, but they're still alive, right? You're still on here doing live streams. You're still making art and content, great art and unique content, by the way. And so when Bitcoin recovers, Blood Boy is going to recover and do a 10 to 100x of what Bitcoin does. And so that's why you should be investing in long-term meme coins, which I think inherently are found majority wise on the Ethereum chain, in my opinion. So
Yeah, but while you were speaking about that, I was thinking like comparing it to the ETFs. The Ethereum meme coins are more like the ETFs where people buy, they hold, they sort of forget that they have the position. It's just there. And it just starts to layer in. And there's this effect with liquidity that as people keep buying that token and the supply keeps going down, the market cap starts to go up quicker and quicker. So you have the effect of all the supply being taken off by the long-term holders of Ethereum coins. And then you also have the effect of when Bitcoin does a move of 1, Ethereum might do a move of 2 or 3, and a meme coin could do a move of 100 to 1,000 of
totally.
that. So while it might go down a little bit, just remember that 20% down, yeah, it hits the liquidity on these meme coins. It seems big, but most of the holders are still there. And when it goes back up, that effect is leveraged. So it's almost
Totally.
like leverage trading Ethereum in a way when you get into a good meme coin project, you could say, because a good project's going to have a leveraged effect on it.
Totally.
Let's take a look at some of the, oh, nice.
Oh yeah, this might be for another stream.
Yeah, well, we're going to break down how Storm gets market information from next week on next week's stream. No kidding. Let's talk about some of the market memes, though. I want to get into that, and because we're speaking about markets. So the market memes refer to a set of characters that have been used on 4chan. They've been used on Reddit. I think the first place that the market memes really got the most publicity was on Indian Street Bets on Reddit, I believe was the subreddit of it. But there's a couple of them. We have Bobo the bear, who's been very prevalent the last few weeks or months, even depending on how you want to look at it. Obviously, bear is a bear market. Then you have Mumu. Mumu is the bull. The bull market, very easy to understand that. We've also sort of been in a little bit of a snibbu. Snibbu is the crab. The crab is boring. It's sideways. A little more Bobo and Snibbu lately. Then you have Dodo, which I know you are a big part of Dodo. Dodo's sort of cool, a little crazy. Dodo's when shit hits the fan, you didn't expect it, like that liquidation event we had. Was it 2 weeks ago now with Japan?
Yep.
Yeah, about
About
2 weeks ago when the whole market had one of the largest liquidation events in the history of stock market. That would be a Dodo event. It's Black Swan. Dodo is the Black Swan. To Mumu, Dodo, Bobo, Snibbu. And then the last one, which we've added on, is Blood Boy. We say when there's blood in the streets, buy the blood. And what that signifies is when everything hits the fan and the markets are getting wrecked, if you have money, go and buy when everybody's running in fear. Buy the blood. And Warren Buffett says, when there's blood in the streets, buy the blood, even if it's your own, which I really love that statement by him. And it basically is a good way for traders, and traders have used this to describe the sentiment in the market. And it's also fun because it's not that Bobo, for example, is only existing in a bear market. It's that relationship between all the market memes that make them great, and that help people understand through that meme, through the art, through the culture, how everybody's feeling. What's your thoughts on the market meme, Storm? How do you use them?
Well, I think going along that same line of great Ethereum meme projects, you want to look for meme coins that have history to them, right? They're real memes that originate from somewhere, and I think the market memes have some of the coolest backstory, and also specifically they relate to trading, right? Which any meme coin investor or trader is a trader, right? They've most of them have probably heard, or I came from trading forex and stocks before I started trading crypto, and I used to see the Bobo memes all the time, right? And this is long before the Bobo meme coin was ever launched, and so yeah, I think what's really cool is that you have that connection between not just a meme coin, but the trading meme in a trader's world is super cool. And just the idea of how, Pepe as well. You talk about meme coins like Pepe being tied to the price movement of Bitcoin. Well, Pepe verse tokens, whether it's Matt Fury or Market Force side, is tied to Pepe. And I think Pepe is going to be like the front runner this entire bull run of all meme coins. I think it'll surpass SHIB for sure. Doge we'll see. But in terms of like momentum and price movement and notability, I think Pepe is like the king of this cycle. And so right under that, you have that umbrella of memes that are encapsulated under Pepe, which is the Matt Fury and Market Force memes. And so I obviously, outside of Blood Boy is kind of a unique one because it's kind of both. That's the cool thing about Blood's story, I guess, is it can kind of morphosizes into all cultures, all genres, including the Market Force memes. But then obviously the other four, Bobo, Mumu, Snibbu, Dodo, they explain the market, right? It's such a cool meme within itself. And so and then also, they're within that Pepe verse, the same big Pepe whales that are running the Pepe charts are also involved in all of the Pepe verse tokens, Bobo, Dodo, etc. And so that in itself gives you a lot of strength within those tokens. So yeah, I'm obviously extremely bullish on those memes in terms of like portfolio. I've recently really made my Solana portfolio back. But yeah, I think the Ethereum chain with those market memes encapsulate like a very large percentage of my portfolio now, because I think those are going to be the best plays, especially now, talking about where they're at, down 80% from their highs, some even more. It's the best buying opportunity in the book. So
Yeah, I love that. I think that the memes that are used in culture are the strongest ones. And when I'm going through, obviously Warren Buffett is not a paid KOL or influencer for Blood Boy, but I'm going through like spaces over the last few weeks, and I'm seeing like influencers, like Jewel, for example, and other ones, their bios, they literally say buy the blood.
yep,
What are we buying? We're buying the blood. Warren Buffett's mentioning it. When you have memes that are representative of these market mentalities, it's such a strong, it's like, what are you doing? We're in crypto, right? If we're talking about the things that we're trading, the bull, the bear, the sideways, I think the market memes are just the most logical thing for people to relate to in this world of trading, because that's what they're about.
totally. So right here, you talk about buy the blood, right? Both
Yeah.
here, right? So let's take this magnet tool off. If you bought the blood here, again, when this happened, this was my first long. I don't know if you guys have been following me on Twitter, by the way, but this was the first like active swing trade long I called on Twitter. Pretty much ever. I never really called my swing trades. I've always just called more meme coins. Called this long here. One of the biggest confluences I'd had for that was because this was the largest liquidation event we've had since all the way down here, which is the bottom of the bull run. This was the FTX scandal, SBF, right? This was like maximum fear, maximum blood. You see this like God candle down. This is the FTX liquidation scandal. If you would have bought that, right? If you would have, not been fearful and been one of the guys saying Bitcoin was going to zero, you would have bought the literal exact bottom to the day of the bull run, right? Similarly, if
And
you would have
and, and blood, I just to interrupt for 1 second, blood is not where you think, oh, it's going good. When they say blood, that means because everybody's getting wrecked and destroyed and shit's going really bad. That's what
yep,
they mean by blood over here. Like when you're buying the blood, everyone around you is jumping off buildings in Wall Street, and you're just calmly buying. That's
yep.
buying the blood.
Exactly. And obviously the from last month when I took that swing long, everyone was saying, "Oh, largest liquidation event in the history since the FTX scandal in crypto history," and we got a massive move up to the top of that channel, right? Obviously now, right, 70K was a big take profit level. I did not short this, by the way, but it was my big take profit level where I scaled out majority of this trade. We get a move down. Now, guess what? The bloodiest event in crypto and stock market history, right? Like this was legitimately, I want to say like one of the biggest stock liquidations ever. Also, I think the biggest crypto liquidation ever in terms of like daily liquidation or instant liquidations ever, right? And you get so many people not buying the blood, but selling, right? Entering into short positions, selling off their position, being fearful. And now look what the market's done. It's starting to reverse. And I think we get a much bigger move, right? From this event, which was probably about half the size as this one. We got this move. This move, I think, is going to be like this, right? It's going to be big, much bigger than that last one. And also because this move didn't break these last highs, we didn't get that real short squeeze. I think this is the event that gives us that big short squeeze to the upside, which in turn starts alt season, which again, that's probably another day, another video, another live stream. But yeah, guys, buy the blood. No better examples, literally no better examples than what's happened the last month, right? One from a week and a half ago, the other one from about a month ago. Both I entered longs in. I bought the blood, right? And so that's a great way to look at the markets on both sides too, right? So like if we get long liquidations, or I'm sorry, short liquidations to the upside, right? So we get that short squeeze, but then all of a sudden price comes back in. We got tons of people stopped out of their shorts. and price closes back in, I'll probably short that, right? Which it's technically buying a position, but to the downside. It's a contract. But yeah, that's honestly, buy the blood is pretty indicative of how I swing trade, honestly. That's like one of my biggest indicators for me to enter a position is when it gets really bloody and you see people get super fearful, either super fearful or super euphoric. I trade the opposite of that. So
I totally agree on that. And it's interesting what you say when people think like, oh, I'm seeing um, I'm seeing this. You're chasing this candle down where you're going to short and try to do that. The market goes the opposite way. So when you try to make it even bloodier and you try to sell into that, you actually usually end up getting wrecked. But if you go with the sentiment of, oh, go ahead and buy the blood, you are putting yourself in a really, really good position to just absolutely beat out where everybody else is doing and sort of have the market help you.
totally,
Um,
totally,
because
totally.
it's like a double. It's like it's doubled over there, where the market is going to be liquidating those shorts, and if you just simply bought over there when everybody's fearful, and that's what it is right now. The market's fearful. That's when you should be buying, and when the market says it's never going to end and it's always going to go higher, that's when you should start selling and scaling out. And
Totally agree.
right now, you got a 30 on the fear and greed. For me, that's a buy the blood um, type of event.
Yep, yep, I totally agree. So, yeah, I think ultimately, I think the meme coin space really is playing off the back of Bitcoin. My Bitcoin analysis is super bullish, and that's what I'm basing a lot of my meme coin positions on. So, um, yeah, but regardless, the market looks pretty bullish. So,
Yeah, and I definitely like it. And again, I like that. I think actually it's Matt Fury's birthday tonight. Happy birthday, Matt Fury.
oh,
You'll probably
nice.
see that all over Twitter tomorrow, and every single person, including Blood Boy, probably makes a meme about it. But I really like the market memes, and that's what we're talking about today. I just like how you can use them. I like when things go bad, you have Bobo assassinating Mumu,
Yep.
like it's fun to use.
Totally. Fun to use and applicable to trading itself, cryptocurrency, stock markets, etc. So those are memes that are going to live on past just the meme coins, and in turn, I think that keeps the meme coin alive, right? Because the meme coin is a meme, right? It's riding off the back of the meme ability of the token, and um, Bobo, Dodo, Snibu, whatever, all those market 4chan memes. They've been around for long before the meme coin was created, and they'll be around a lot longer, after this bull run, multiple bull cycles. So,
Yeah, because the market is never going to go straight anywhere. It's always going to have those patterns that relate. And even when it's going up, Bobo's relatable because Mumu's killing Bobo. And, Snibu always has those moments that it's going
totally.
sideways. And there's always, dodo events when, who knows, it's a dodo event. So yeah, it's cool. I think overall, I love always good catching up and having these streams, Storm. It's cool to
Yep.
see Bitcoin. I love the setup that we see over here, where the liquidation of the longs, or sorry, liquidation of the shorts at the bottom over here, those chasing ones, set up this long. And once that long goes past the short liquidation, which was set at the top of the channels in different points, but very close together at like that 69 and 72 level, because they're so close, like that first one hits the second one. And if it has the same power as it had at that candle underneath the channel, yeah, that could be it. That could be GG's, boys.
GG's. Hey, when that happens, I'll tweet GG's too with a picture of it, and we'll have to clip this because you know who called it first. So,
No, you
yeah.
called it. You called it.
Well, so yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I want to do these streams pretty often. I know it's been at least 3 or 4 days since the last one time we did one. I'd love to do these like at least every other night. Would be awesome. So yeah, there's still so much to talk about too. So many different things I've made videos on and that me and Blood Boy have talked about that we could definitely talk about and discuss in the next live stream. But yeah, I mean, as far as tonight, key takeaways, I think bullish on the Bitcoin market and therefore bullish on meme coins. And yeah, I think everything looks great and looks ready and primed.
I love it. And I would encourage everybody, if you have questions or things that you want us to cover, post a comment on any of the socials that we're on. And to make it even more fun, tell us how you're feeling about the market and use a market meme, use a Bobo, use a Dodo, use a Blood Boy, use a Moo, have some fun out there and use them for what it's for. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure to like and follow from wherever you're streaming on or listening to. Storm, I think that's it for tonight, right?
Yeah, it's good for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for all the information and wisdom. And as usual, we have no idea exactly when we're streaming again. So make sure to turn your notifications on so you do
Yep.
not miss out on the world's greatest surprise streams. And with that, I will say good night.
Night, guys.
Good night.